go on in that. So I think it's a good idea, but I would caution there's some unintended consequences of how every person may choose. And cluster is one thing, but in the newer neighborhoods, as you may or may not know, they have like the clustered lock boxes, and I don't know if the council, I mean, that involves a concrete pad and probably a significant cost, where a regular cluster on, cedar posts and a plastic mailbox is a totally different thing. So we need some more context and direction from the council on that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the cluster, now you are driving up, you're not gonna walk all the way up to 7th Street if you're down at the bottom, but, okay.
Okay, so I think the decision is we're gonna proceed with option B. Can you talk us through next?
Yeah, can I just
steps?
reframe that for a
Yeah.
little bit? Like
Yes, please.
the way that staff would present that is that's gonna be instead of showing like all three scenarios in our resident reach outs, we're gonna show the project with scenario B as the trail option, and then the council will deliberate and vote on that. So it doesn't mean that option B is selected tonight. You have an additional step, and there's an opportunity for residents to weigh in again based on that.
How will you
Isn't that what I said?
communicate that?
In the same way that we mail out to folks in the project area and then do social media. Same way we did this round.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just so that we're clear, maybe translating what Brent just said, like, we're not doing plans and specs yet, where we are working with a contractor and they're gonna start tearing up asphalt in 10 weeks. Like, we're not at that point. There's still a couple steps in this process. We're gonna see it again in our meeting on the 17th. And you all are welcome to join us then, if you'd like. Did I get that right? Okay. And then, so we're gonna, at our meeting at the 17th, can you just kind of talk through the process again? We're gonna be talking about approving. that-
Well, it'll be presented, the city engineer and Schmidt will present the project in total, so that'll involve the improvements or the maintenance and the Carver Bluffs, Mount Hope Road. There's some seal coating on some other sections of streets. And then if you think of it as a book, there'll be one chapter dedicated to this trail. It'll be presented as scenario B. Based on this, I think we can do some minor touch-ups, show you, maybe get some additional pictures, and just kind of brainstorm about what we heard tonight. So there might be some little tweaks, but the message will be to residents, this is what's being proposed. And I think that provides a different framework for engage, and then for the council to weigh that and then make a decision on the entirety of the project. And so you could choose to move forward with it as the city engineer presents it, or you could say, no, we're gonna do all of this but this, or we're gonna do these three things, but then after that, you're investing significant money in engineering, design time, and then when it comes back to you, then you'll approve plans and specs and authorize for bid. But you're setting the menu on the 17th of what they're preparing.
Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Find where we're at in my agenda. Okay, thank you all, and thank you guys all for coming. I truly appreciate hearing from everybody.
And if anybody has questions on what all that meant, you have my contact information, call me or email me and I can follow up with you.
And we all generally stay a little bit after the meeting if you want to talk to Brent and keep him here until 10:30 tonight. Brent's like, oh, thanks so much. Okay, let's see. Council communications. Eric.
Easy, I have none.
Okay. I'm sorry, I keep starting on this end. Let's hopscotch. Kayla.
Hi. I want to just reiterate what the mayor said. Thank you all so much for coming. This was a project that I think we in particular wanted to hear from the people who live in that area directly as we're trying to make this decision as a council. And so having you here to voice your opinion was valuable and what we hoped for. So thank you so much for coming. And Brent, thank you for putting forth the extra effort to make an announcement before we had it narrowed down so that they could voice that opinion well. So that is what I have to say.
Chrissy?
The only thing I have is that the HPC meeting for February is canceled.
Lori?
I do not have any updates.
All right, updates from me on January 21st. As part of my role with the League of Minnesota Cities, I went to the Breakfast with the Mayors at St. Thomas. This is an annual event where the mayors of Minneapolis and St. Paul both kind of talk about issues in their city. It was narrated or emceed by Tom Hauser, so he does a good job of asking all the right questions. And it was good to see, I'd never seen Mayor Herr speak, so it was good to see and hear from her. We had a Southwest Corridor Transportation Commission meeting last Friday. Got some updates from Lyndon and crew about what's going on with, updates on 212, but that project isn't really the main thing anymore, so it's more Highway 5 and kind of what's gonna be going on with that. Let's see, on Saturday, Mayor Herr hosted a reception during the Winter Carnival. So Mayor Hubbard and I went to that at Cassetta's, and it was fun just to meet other mayors and to talk with folks and meet with some newer mayors who are entering their first terms in this crazy world that we're living in. And then last night, speaking of the crazy world that we're living in, I met with probably about 8 to 10 members of our immigrant community, just to kind of check in with them and see how they're doing. Because if you have been watching the news, we all know what's going on. And the one thing that I took away from that, there were lots of questions, really none of which that I had answers to. But the one thing that I want to impress upon council and maybe hope that we carry this forward was one individual said, you know, none of my neighbors have called me to check in on me. Nobody's checked in. So, like, let's reach out. It's the middle of winter. It's dark days. Like, literally, it's dark out at 5:30. But, like, check on your people. Check on your community. Check on your neighbors. So, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oop.
Whoa.
Sorry, just one thing, as Representative Harder was talking, just wanted to remind council that the League of Minnesota Cities is hosting Cities Day at the Capitol on Wednesday, March 11th. So I know the mayor is planning to go. Does anybody on the council need to be registered for that event?
Yeah.
When do you need
Give
to
me
know
a
by?
sec to check with
Okay.
Dave about
Yep, just let me know.
his schedule.
I'll plan on it.
Make sure he's
Okay.
stateside.
Can we, I know you can notice for a quorum, I mean, can we all go, or do you?
You can't, Dave, help me out if I start drowning here. You can't notice for a quorum, but you can attend, you just can't convene together. You
Okay.
should stay separate.
I believe last
Means
year
I
you
won't
told us
talk
we
to
can
you.
all go, but we
Got it.
probably shouldn't all drive together and we need to sit in
Yeah.
different parts of the room.
Yeah, mostly for optics, because I trust that you're not gonna be, meeting and talking about city business outside of a meeting context, but I think for optics
Sure.
reasons, it's better to, you can say hello to one another and have small talk and those kinds of things, but don't sit at the same lunch table.
Don't sit in the corner with each other
Yeah.
talking closely.
That's my general advice.
Okay.
And if we were to do meetings with our legislators, we can't do them together.
Correct.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. You can do it just with two of you, just so
Okay.
you don't have a quorum, but presumably you're gonna be talking about city business,
Yeah.
levy funding, all those
Yeah.
things. So yes, if you're doing that, you need to avoid a quorum, being
Okay.
with the legislature at
Okay.
the same time, yeah.
Let's talk about that at the next work session, because I think it would be a little figure out who's gonna meet with legislators if that's something that we're interested in, because I think we should probably just narrow it down to 2 people, and I'm open to talking about this at the next meeting, because it would probably be pretty irritating if it was like, oh, another Carver group. Oh, hey, fantastic, you're my
Or we divide and
third.
conquer.
Carver, yeah.
Yeah. So when, Brent,
Yeah.
what would you need to know by for registration?
I would say by the next meeting, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Just, sometimes they kind of sell out,
Okay.
just, I know they moved venues this year. It's at River Center in St. Paul, so I think they'll have more space. But, frankly, if it was the first meeting in March, we could probably figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you
Mhm.
for remembering
yeah.
that. Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilmember Pershman,
Second?
Second by Councilmember Pasco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Good evening, everybody. Thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it.